Hello, I'm Steve Weber, the host of Book Cheapskate. We're running through the top 10 Kindle books featured today on bookcheapskate.com. Happy Saturday, everyone. Welcome to the weekend. It's October 25th, 2025. As always, I'm joined by my co-host and bookworm sidekick, Cassandra. Good morning, Cass.
Good morning. Ready to dive in. We've got quite the lineup today. Everything from deep space empires to cozy mysteries and even, well, Airbnb.
Exactly. It's quite a mix.
Yeah.
And our goal today, isn't just to skim the plots. We want to dig a bit deeper, look at how these stories are put together, what kind of insights maybe we can pull out, even from the nonfiction.
To find the patterns, the interesting twists.
Right. Let's kick things off with the first two. They both kind of play with expectations, I think. Book one, First Contact. It sounds like your classic space opera, right? Galactic Empire, science fiction, survey ship, new worlds.
The usual setup. TNS Aurora finds habitable planets, standard stuff.
But then, bam, no friendly aliens or cautious first contact protocols. They stumble into this ancient Kreelan empire.
And this is where it gets really interesting. Instead of, advanced tech battles, the crew gets captured by these, well, sword-wielding female warriors.
Yeah, and forced into gladiatorial combat. It's such a deliberate, mashup of sci-fi and fantasy elements almost.
It really is. It tells you right away, this isn't just about spaceships. It's about this deep warrior culture where maybe the tech is secondary to their traditions.
And the stakes are immediately personal and high. Midshipman Ichiro Sato survives, but he's sent back to Earth basically as a messenger of war.
A sacred messenger, yeah. It completely flips the power dynamic. Humanity isn't an equal. They're maybe seen as ritual objects.
Right, so the insight there is using those almost fantasy tropes, the swords, the priestesses, to make the alien threat feel fundamentally different, more cultural than just military. Really hooks you.
Okay, so moving from that huge external conflict, book two, Encrypted, it keeps the tension but makes it much more internal, focused on intellect.
This one's epic fantasy.
Yeah.
And yeah, the heroine, Professor Takaya Komatopis, she's great. The description makes a point that she's clumsy, not a warrior type at all.
Right, but she's brilliant at cryptography, which is, a really refreshing archetype. Her power is purely her brain.
Makes her feel very relatable, I think. You believe in her competence because it's specific knowledge.
But the world building here is where it gets complex. She's captured, needs to decode these mysterious runes, classic fantasy MacGuffin, right? But she's on this, steampunk airship. There are steam engines, technological constructs, but also alchemical artifacts that mess with your mind.
So it's blending genres again. Steampunk tech, fantasy magic, and the core puzzle is cryptography.
Exactly. It suggests that, a lot of compelling modern fantasy is playing in that intersection. Tech, magic, and intellectual suspense all rolled into one.
And there's that personal tension, too. The fellow prisoner who might help her or betray her.
Yeah, that classic, can I trust this person dynamic layered with romantic potential and real danger. She's decoding runes and decoding people.
Okay, let's unpack this. Switching gears entirely now. We've been talking about fiction, narrative structure.
And now for something completely different.
Right. Book three, starting a successful Airbnb business for beginners. We're jumping into the $1.2 trillion short-term rental market. This book promises actionable advice.
Yeah, and this is less about story structure and more about, real-world system building. The key insight seems to be getting specific about what success actually looks like. Metrics, not just vague tips.
Because everyone worries, right? Is the market saturated? Is it too late to get in?
And the book apparently tackles that head-on. It doesn't just say provide good service. It talks about the specific metrics for superhost status.
Like what? What are we talking about?
Things like needing to maintain a 90% response rate within 1 hour and keeping your average rating above 4.8 stars over a decent number of stays.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
That's demanding. That grounds it immediately. It's not just about having a nice spare room.
Exactly. It's operational discipline. Customer service velocity, as you said. It treats it like a real business.
And it mentions downloadable tools. For tracking costs and stuff.
Yeah, avoiding common mistakes, managing dynamic pricing to keep occupancy up. Basically, it frames passive income as something requiring very active strategic management up front.
That's a really valuable point, actually, that idea that passive income requires serious active setup and systemization. Applies way beyond Airbnb, I think.
Definitely. Okay, so we've done space, fantasy, business strategy. Let's circle back to mystery, but with a focus on identity and secrets tied to place.
Right, Book 4, The White Oak Lodge. Sounds like a clean, wholesome romance/mystery. Decades-old mystery, a fire, missing family members.
The standard setup, but the heroine, Nina Whitmore, she's an anthropologist at Princeton.
Ah, okay, so her job is literally about understanding and rewriting narratives about identity in the past.
Exactly. And now she has to apply those skills to her own family's story, her own trauma. The lodge restoration is physical, but also, metaphorical, rebuilding her past.
But here's the twist. Her husband is also an anthropologist.
Mm-hmm. And the source suggests he might be studying her, trying to figure out what happened 30 years ago by observing her.
Whoa, okay, that's creepy.
Yeah.
And fascinating. Her professional strength, her analytical mind becomes the source of this huge personal vulnerability and distrust in her marriage.
Yeah, it's a clever way to use her profession to heighten the stakes.
Okay, similar themes, maybe, but much lighter. Book 5 is The Bark Side of the Moon Cozy Mysteries.
Paranormal cozy. Always fun. This one features Lily Mason, who's a cougar shifter hiding out in small-town Missouri.
Trying to live as a human. Classic paranormal setup. But you mentioned the dog is key here. Smushy.
Yeah, Smushy the pit bull. He rescues Lily, helps her get a job at a pit bull rescue center. And the insight here, I think, is how the book uses this cozy mystery frame to tackle real-world prejudice.
Against pit bulls, you mean? Breed stereotypes.
Exactly. It seems to draw a parallel between Lily hiding her shifter nature, her less-than-human status in some eyes, and the way pit bulls are often misjudged. It slips in that social commentary alongside the fun mystery stuff.
That's pretty clever for a cozy. And it's an omnibus, right? 3 books in one?
Yep, good value. Plus, you gotta love the punny titles like Pit Perfect Murder.
Yeah, gotta have the puns. All right, let's shift focus a bit to isolation. How isolation ramps up the danger in different ways.
Yeah.
Several of these next books seem to use that.
Definitely. Starting with Book 6, The Haunting of Rose Abbey. Classic Gothic setup.
Right. Impoverished spinster, Edwina Collins, doesn't believe in ghosts, takes a secretary job at a remote, spooky abbey where other secretaries have literally fled in terror. Isolation level high.
And there's the initial hurdle, the mistaken identity. Lord Bascom hired Edwin, expected a man.
But we also know from the source info this is part of Dragonblade's flame line, which means
Eye heat level explicit scenes. So it's taking that traditional Regency Gothic isolation social constraint, but injecting very modern, explicit sexual agency for the heroine.
right. There's not just romance or ghosts, is it?
No, and this is where it gets really interesting. The source says someone or something actively does not want her there. There's a suggestion of real physical danger on top of everything else.
Okay, so from spooky manor isolation to total societal collapse isolation. Book 7, The Oasis of Filth, Part 1, Post-Apocalyptic Horror.
And the horror here is grounded in something disturbingly plausible. The apocalypse isn't zombies, it's the combined effects of 2 real diseases, leprosy and rabies.
Oof, yeah, that's uniquely grim. Leprosy causing nerve damage, loss of feeling, and rabies adding aggression, delirium.
It creates this specific kind of biological horror that feels, well, horribly credible. It avoids the usual undead tropes.
And the main character isn't your typical action hero either. He's a doctor, 60s, used to be respected, now he's a nobody.
Right, that older, disillusioned perspective gives it a really unique, maybe more grounded feel. His experience highlights the loss of societal structure.
And that motto, stay clean, stay alive. Very practical, very bleak. Tells you a lot about the world. There's mention of a character named Rosa representing hope, though.
Yeah, against his despair, but the source also hints at heartbreak, so probably don't get too attached.
Toted. Okay, back to Regency England, but still with isolation. 8, Haunted.
This one focuses more on social isolation. Francesca, a beautiful widow, lives in this shunned house, Hazel House. She takes in George, who's described as gentle but a little strange.
Isolated by gossip and judgment, then.
Exactly. The village's ignorant moral outrage is a key part of the conflict. And apparently, the ghost of her late husband gets stirred up by the attraction between her and George.
So, supernatural jealousy and judgmental villagers. Double threat.
Yeah, the insight being that in these Gothics, often the living neighbors are just as dangerous as the ghosts. She's navigating both social peril and spectral interference.
Right. Okay, different kind of isolation again in Book 9, Sin and Savage. A protective hero. Romantic suspense.
Here, the isolation is more about being dragged out of your element. Small-town schoolteacher Tori Jones gets pulled into the Las Vegas outlaw biker scene.
By her troublemaking grandmother, no less. Needs help getting money back from a missing boyfriend. Okay.
And the hero, Savage Monroe, he's not pretending. He's an actual outlaw biker involved in, like, gun shipments. He's dangerous.
So the tension comes from that extreme clash of worlds. Her structured life versus his completely unstructured, violent one.
But the key thing seems to be that Tori isn't just swept away. She's described as stubborn, refuses to just do what he says.
Okay, so she maintains her agency even with the protective biker hero trope. She's an active participant in trying to solve the problem.
Exactly. It sounds like it leans into the roughness, though. There's a content warning for violence and coarse language.
Good to know. All right, last one. Book 10, Moonstone Landing. We're back to romance, specifically paranormal romance.
And this one sounds like a quick, charming read. Features a ghost sea captain, Brioc Arundel, haunting Moonstone Cottage. He's gorgeous, naturally.
Of course. Lady Henley Killigrew buys the haunted cottage. What's the hook here?
The central puzzle is apparently how she can feel his kisses. It's not just seeing a ghost. There's a physical connection that needs explaining within the story's rules.
Ah, okay. So the supernatural element has its own internal logic driving the romance.
Seems like it. And the other key thing, it's a short read.
Right. From a USA Today best-selling author, Mira Platt. So you get a complete ghost romance story, but without a huge time commitment. Good for trying out the genre or the author.
Exactly. A nice little spectral snack.
Well, thanks for joining us today. And remember, if you want to download any of the books we've mentioned today, visit us at bookcheapskate.com, and you'll have all the links right there. But do it now before these deals expire. Who knows? They might even expire later today. And don't miss tomorrow's show, very morning. It's all brand new. Cass, we'll do it again then.
Sounds good. Talk to you all tomorrow.
Until then, keep on opening new worlds with great books without blowing a massive hole in your wallet. And whatever you do, remember this. When you read...
Your mind becomes its own kingdom.